the former US president addressing a large crowd when multiple gunshots rang out. The bangs disrupted the rally, prompting Secret Service agents to swiftly cover Trump and rush him off the stage. The shooter was killed, one attendee lost their life, and two others were critically injured. Despite the chaos, Trump, with his right ear bleeding, was seen pumping his fist in the air, eliciting cheers from the crowd as he was escorted out by the Secret Service. The FBI confirmed that it was an assassination attempt against the Republican presidential candidate. The incident is currently under investigation, with the Secret Service formally notifying the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Meanwhile, President Biden has condemned the life-threatening attack on his Republican rival and predecessor.
This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene. We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well. Again, at this time, we are not prepared to identify who the shooter is. We are close to that identification, and as soon as we are 100% confident in who that individual is, we will share it with the press.
Law enforcement, I believe, acted heroically, quickly identifying and neutralizing the threat, as well as responding to assist the various victims. At this time, we have no reason to believe that there is any other existing threat out there. We are doing everything we can to make sure that this is thoroughly investigated.
I'm very upset. I can't say for sure who's behind this, but I'll tell you what, it's only going to cause more division in this country because of the people that support President Trump. And it's only going to make people hate Joe Biden even more, whether he had anything to do with it or not, and whether the Democratic Party had anything to do with it or not. It seems that they'll do anything to remain in power. And I'll tell you what, it's only going to cause more division in this country. And there's enough already. You're going to see more.
I feel like the nomination is coming up on Monday, and I feel like they don't want him. They don't want this man to be president because he's trying his hardest to save America, and that's not what they want. They want America to fall.
They're scared.
Yeah, they're scared. You're right. Yeah. They're scared.
Horrifying. I mean, the shot, I mean, and the stuff was coming off the side. For people to do that, I don't know. It's just, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It's just going to drive people to even be more for him. I mean, especially when that picture comes out.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well.
Let me go across to Gaurav Samant, my colleague who's joining me for more on this story. Gaurav, what is it that we know as far as the investigation is concerned? It's been a couple of hours now that the identity of the suspect has been revealed. Where is it that the investigation has now reached?
So the identity of the shooter is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He's 20 years old. He hailed from a locality just about 20 miles from the Butler venue of Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally. What was his background? What were his antecedents? What are his political leanings? All of that is a matter of investigation. But prima facie, the Pennsylvania State Police, the PSP, believe that this was a lone wolf kind of an attack, that there isn't another shooter out there. But is there a larger plot? Remains a matter of investigation. So there are two investigations that are being carried out parallelly. One is by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and that is the plot to assassinate Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner. And the second is by the Pennsylvania State Police into the killing of the civilian. One civilian has been killed, two others are grievously injured. What points to laxity or apparent laxity in this case, prima facie, is the fact that the onlookers there, the spectators there, and those who live in the area that alerted the Pennsylvania State Police about the shooter making his way to the top of a single-storied building in an open field area where this rally was being organized. That he was going there, he was taking position. They alerted the police, but the police failed to respond. Two eyewitnesses have come on camera. One said this in as many words, the other seemed to indicate that, and yet the Pennsylvania State Police was found wanting. The Secret Service, on the other hand, have said that this shooter was outside the security envelope as soon as he began firing. On top of another raised platform, on top of another shed, were the Secret Service counter sniper forces, and they fired back immediately, neutralizing this 20-year-old. Then the president was whisked away to safety. He himself spoke of how there was an injury on the right top part of his right ear, and he was rushed to the Butler County Hospital. He's recovered and since has gone to New Jersey and will continue with his political events, including the presidential, the Republican nomination convention that will take place at Milwaukee tomorrow. So his focus remains clear that he will continue to fight on. And that's exactly what he said when he said fight, fight, fight after he'd been shot and he punched his fist in the air multiple times and the crowds chanted USA, USA. So he does look galvanized after this assassination attempt. Joe Biden, prima facie, does appear to be on the back foot here.
Right. In terms of in terms of the weapon that was used in this assassination bid, Gaurav, what is it that you can tell us?
So this was an AR-15 assault rifle. It's a semi-automatic assault rifle. Initial investigation seems to indicate that the shooter was about 150, between 130 and 150 feet away from the stage. Now, this is an area that if there is a presidential candidate, if there is a Secret Service protectee, you know the range of various sniper weapons, and those are areas that are completely sanitized. Any higher ground in this area should have been sanitized. Why wasn't it done so? Should this have been done by the state police? Should this have been done by the Secret Service? While that remains a matter of investigation, Secret Service says they had their men and women. Secret Service in its entirety is about 7,800 people strong. They had their forces on higher ground, and they had the immediate, which is known as the close protection team. They had them in place. However, the Pennsylvania State Police will have to respond to criticism that they did not sanitize this higher ground, which is that shed. They should have had a person on top of the shed. Two, when information came in that there was one person with this AR-15 assault rifle climbing up onto that shed and taking position, they did not neutralize that person immediately. Remember, this happens at a time when some in the Republican camp have already alleged that the Republicans are fighting not just the Democrats, but also the American deep state that remains extremely hostile to Donald Trump. So this criticism is something that the American intelligence agencies and their security agencies will have to respond to at a time when Donald Trump has thanked the Secret Service for protecting his life.
Right. Stay with us, Gaurav.